loud tonight because I think the microphones got bust. But round of applause for Sian. Thank you so much. My voice is not that loud, unfortunately. I'm not the person who can shut up a loud, noisy room and get them to listen. But I'll do my best. Can you hear me all right? Okay, I've only got a short thing to do. Thank you so much for that insight there into the way that young people are thinking about climate chaos. I work in the local library down the road as a volunteer. We have to do that because of cuts. And last weekend, some people came in with a little tiny kid who was about this high, so I don't know how old that is. And he was just toddling and talking, and he was really, really excited when we got into the library, to find out that the children's library was open. And this is the first time I've worked in there for a year that the children's library has been open for the children to go in and browse for books. And he was so tiny and he was so excited. He was like, we're allowed. Like, that's how he did it. And it just really struck me at that moment, very similar to what Flo said, the circumstances of society in which you grow up at a very formative age really affect you. This child is going to grow up just being very excited by things that are allowed and being very used to things being restricted. And I think we mustn't underestimate that. But that isn't the talk I came to give. I've been asked to give a short TED-style talk. So what I thought I'd do is I'd bring a mini picture, a thought, an idea, a possible mission for us all in this landscape that we might do. And this story, it could be called How I Fell in Love with Solar Panels and Why You Should Too. So, once upon a time, when I first became a green, you would basically only ever see solar panels in real life in two places: on posh houses and at festivals. Now, these were exotic things back then. They were space age, like a bit of the Hubble telescope had landed and you were like, can I touch it? That's how exciting solar panels were back then. Now, the first time I ever saw a solar panel on a normal house, in fact on a council house, was when I went to Huddersfield in 2005. Now, I went there with my dad, and while we were there, we decided to visit an initiative of a green councillor in Kirklees Council, and there you had a whole ward, the ward where my dad grew up, covered in solar panels due to this initiative. And it was really exciting and really unusual and really modern in my view. We took a lot of photographs. Now, at the same time, round about then, I went on a trip to Zagreb with my Croatian boyfriend at the time, and we drove all the way across Europe from London to Zagreb, and we drove through Germany. And the whole of Germany was like Newson Wood in Huddersfield, village after village, with virtually every single one of its roofs solared up, from schools to the churches, the shops, the posh houses, normal houses. It was quite clear to me then the UK was well behind. But the sign of all this in Germany was a sign of hope to me. It showed community effort, it showed people in Germany coming together and blending the past and the future. So as a Green, around that time, I was just getting going in the Green Party. I got involved in starting to campaign for feed-in tariffs, the policy in Germany that was helping to make all this happen, to make solar panels more secure as investment. A lot of other people campaigned on this, and we got this policy in the UK. We got some funds from Europe as well. Grants started to come. Energy companies had to contribute to make a difference. So it started to grow in the UK. So around the UK now, you see more and more towns and villages that are a bit more like Newson Wood in Huddersfield, a bit more like Germany. So the present day, just as an example that reminded me and prompted me to give this talk in this way, I was watching the BBC drama Time the other day, which is Sean Bean and Stephen Graham taking on the prison system. And in that, there's an excellent drone shot. I can't remember what the scene was, but I got over distracted by the fact that in the drone shot, there was a normal working class area and solar panels all over the roofs. Just loads and loads and loads of solar panels. And if any of you others noticed it, that's the sort of thing Green Party co-leaders notice when they're watching telly. And this was filmed all around Liverpool and Shropshire and Runcorn, which is actually another area where my family has lots and lots of roofs. And it was yeah, again, a proper sign of hope that just a normal town and a normal drama in a normal part of the UK was that covered in solar panels. Now, I can't think of anywhere in London that looks like that looks like these examples I've been talking about. And the fact is that in the statistics, London is way behind the rest of the country. We are dead last in terms of solar capacity installations, behind every other region in England. And though other places, obviously they can have solar farms on their fields and things that we can't have in London, if you look at the number of installations, a lot of which are homes, we are way behind as well. There's a league table of local council areas that shows the number of installations each council has. And I looked up our local areas. Camden, out of 406 councils on that list, this is the whole of the UK, so Scotland and Northern Ireland as well, with 363rd out of 406 in Camden. In Haringey, they're 350th on this league table. That is so far behind. And that's why the number one ask of the Camden Citizens Climate Assembly was to have more solar panels. They recognised that we were far behind. So, I know this is something people want in our area. I've done lots of casework on ordinary, normal householders trying to work out how to get their solar panels approved. I've helped Power Up North London to get approval for the church solar panels. And they're quite right, this is an emergency. I want to see more of these signs of hope all over our area. So this is my provocation today. I know how exactly controversial it's going to be if I say, let's just agree amongst ourselves that we won't object to any solar panels, that we'll want them on all the roofs, all the ones we can see from the roads, the things that require planning permission at the moment. I know if I say, let's just approve every solar panel in our area and cover our roofs, this will be controversial. We do not want to ruin our area forever. But my suggestion today is, what if we don't look at it that way? What if we think we want to lend our beautiful roofs, our beautiful views, our beautiful streetscapes to this emergency for say 10 or 20 years. These are not permanent changes, they can come off. What if we did that? And how quickly could we move up that league table of councils? To get from where we are to the top 10, we'd only need to add, in Camden, just as an example, 7,000 new solar panel installations to get into the top 10. To get to number one ahead of Cornwall, we'd have to add 17,000. So imagine if we could do that. Imagine if we just chose to change our perspective and look at it a different way, to see solar panels on our roofs as signs of hope, as signs of the community coming together for a couple of decades to solve this crisis and solve this emergency. I'd love to get the conversation going in Camden. Just imagine if we could do that. Thank you, and sorry for going over.